Namaste, friends. Welcome to this active yoga practice. Come to a comfortable seated position. Palms up, first fingers and thumbs connected in Jnana Mudra, Wisdom Mudra. So into the rhythm of your breath. Settle into deep presence of this moment, feeling the body weighted down on the earth. From that rooted base, rising up tall through the belly, the heart, the throat, the crown of the head. Know that you are at home and safe in this present moment. Bring your Jnana Mudra hands together. So we have two little circles against the heart, fingertips connecting. And a modified mudra for heart center. We'll lace the fingers, press the hands forward and round the spine, chin to the chest. Then extend up, lengthening tall. Bring the hands behind your head and curl forward again, chin to chest, elbows together, and then open. Now some gentle twists, working the upper and middle spine into some action. Maybe you start to take some little bows towards the opposite knees. Perhaps activating the lower body a bit, pressing down through the knees to stabilize your seat. And again, reaching up, looking up. Again, rounding forward and all the way down, tilt the pelvis back, more rounding now. Let's extend the right leg, knee bent. Actually, this is the left side. And see what I'm doing here. Working right into the hip joint. Open and close. And stretch that left leg out. Round and arch the spine. Rocking the pelvis forward and back to create this action. This is great for the hips and hamstrings. Now try that other side. Tuck the left leg in. Send the right leg out a bit, knee bent. And rock. You'll notice I'm turning the torso a bit. Fluid movement. Extend the right leg and take some circles this time through the core. Maybe 3 times in each direction. Really warming up the spine, really opening the front, sides, and back of the body. Nice. Now both legs extend. Bring your strap in. You always want to have 2 yoga blocks and a strap and a nice blanket to sit on. Really the fundamentals for the practice. So some shoulder opening. Find a distance between your hands on the strap where you can get a full range of motion like this, dropping all the way over and back. Contraindication though, if you have rotator cuff issues or shoulder injury, you would want to keep that softer, not go all the way back. Then see about shortening the distance between your hands on the strap, coming back to that point where it gets tricky, and then maybe bending the elbows a little. And then playing with some side bends here, really reaching out through the opposite leg from the direction that you're bending. Send that opposite leg out stronger, so you're really anchoring your seat into the earth, into the floor. Nice. Emptying the breath when you go into your side bends, filling up when you come tall. And that will make sense. The body will direct you with that. Let's reach out to lasso the left foot. Sit up tall, nice flat back, and fold with a flat back first, taking the hands wide to pull yourself down gently, and then bowing the head towards the knee. Keep reaching out through that right leg, sinking in the sit bones. Lift the head, lift the heart, come up to a flat back. And release, come nice and tall. Maybe one of those shoulder stretches in between. Find the other side. You want to put the strap around the widest part of the foot, the ball joint. Lift up tall and then open the arms at the elbows. Flat back and bow. Reach out through that left leg. See the soles of the feet are nice and flexed. Lift the head, lift the heart. Come up tall from the low spine. One more nice big shoulder stretch. We'll set the strap to the side. Bring in a tall block to start, or maybe two. You might want to stack your blocks. And find a nice seated forward fold like so. For me at this recording, this was a good level. You can lower the block, turning it on its narrow side or its wide side, even lower. Or again, you can stack blocks up. You could put your, as you see me showing you here, coming to that middle edge. Can also come up taller by stacking your fists under your forehead. But play with the modifications, play with the options. To come out, lift the head, lift the heart, hinge from the seat. Helping the knees come center, soles of the feet together, circle it through, in other direction. Nice. Bring the knees together, walk them to one side, and we're going to set up for supported hero pose. But first come tall, on the knees, under the hip joints, like table pose in the lower body. Lifting up tall. Don't mind my head being cut off here. You're seeing the important stuff. I'm putting the backs of my hands at my lumbar curve. Drawing the shoulders back. Try not to flare the front ribs out too much. And then sun breath up. Hands through heart center. Take a seat. See how that feels. May need more support. This is where you want to use your props. So blanket is an option. It's folded blanket. That may be enough. You could also double fold it. Set it down between the feet. And or bring in blocks. Now here, you bring in two blocks, a little wider than shoulder width. Place the palms of the fingertips there. Lean back into a nice little back bend to complete our warm-ups here. Nice. If your spine is fine with it, you can engage the glutes a bit, press down the tops of the feet, and send the pelvis up off your heels or your prop. Your neck is okay with it. You can drop the head back, keeping the chin reaching towards the sky. Lovely. And coming out the same way, set the seat down, bring the head up. And take a moment to just breathe here. We'll meet in the same place to move on to more of our working phase. From kneeling, come to table pose, turn the toes under, wiggle side to side. So flat back, but moving side to side. Then enjoy a few cat-cow breaths before lifting and sinking the heels to downward dog. Walk it out or just let things unfold on the breath and stillness. Try lowering and lifting the knees. Really engage the upper body. Maybe starting to float forward a little more with that movement. Eventually landing in a high plank, releasing back to downward dog. Starting to bring it into a flow that moves from downward dog through high plank, rounding, and then arching the spine up into upward facing dog. Press the tops of the feet down. You can leave some leg on the ground or try to get the legs completely off the ground. And hugging the inner thighs, turn the toes under to come tall again. We're going to play with the left leg, reaching it up, hugging it in, lifting it up, hugging it in, and then stepping it through to a high lunge. Come up tall here. Back heel stays lifted. Coming to heart center. Breathe in, taking prayer hands up, front leg straight, and coming back down into your crescent lunge. Beautiful. On the breath, strong body. Lengthen forward, pull the arms back. Right hand to the mat, find a twist. Reach up, keep the hips squared off. Right leg strong. And coming back up through warrior one. So we dropped the back heel down. Bend deep in the front knee. Square the hips towards the front toes. Powerful breath. Find and exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, downward dog. Walking it, feeling it, breathing it. Again, play with lowering the knees almost to the mat and then coming back tall. Start to bring it through that high plank and shifting back. Start to round it through the high plank. And turn to the tops of the feet. Lengthen up through the back body and out through the heart, upward facing dog. Turn the toes under, hug the inner thighs, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg and hug it towards the chin. Extend, hug, extend, hug, look up, step it through. Rising tall to crescent warrior. Hands to the heart. Breathe in, reach up, front leg straight. Breathe in, reach up, front leg straight. Doing a little reverse sun breath here. Breathe in. Reach down for your twist. We forgot our little reach forward and open. We'll get it in there. Beautiful. Lengthen forward and open. Spread those wings. Drop the back heel down, rise up strong through the front leg to Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior 1. Lots of breath, lots of love. And extend back down. We're going to float over towards the left long edge of your mat. Take a wide leg forward fold, wiggling the shoulders, perhaps coming down as low as the forearms and elbows. Perhaps playing a bit here, shifting the weight onto the forearms, upper body, by lifting the heels. You don't have to. Sometimes I like to extend the arms here, almost like it's downward dog with feet wide. Nice. Hop the feet in about a foot on each side and start to rock back and forth. Some little baby lunges here. And come up through a squat. Bring the heels in more. That plie-like positioning of goddess pose. And we'll pulse. Hands at heart center. Feeling a neutral spine. Don't lean forward with the shoulders. And pause the pulsing. Practice lifting the heels one at a time. Sweep up and out. Turn the feet forward. Hands to the heart. Turn the left toes out. Setting up for triangle pose. We're going to lengthen like we're going into triangle pose, but pausing and pulling the right arm overhead like you're holding a giant beach ball between the hands, strengthening the side body, deepening that stretch down the hamstrings, floating here. Then dropping the left hand to the left shin, reaching the right hand up, gaze to the sky or the earth. Breathe. Beautiful. Sweep the right arm down, back through center, back through that wide leg forward fold, half lifting and folding, half lifting and folding, half lifting, stay here, then sweep up, hands to heart center, turn the right toes out, left heel back a bit, square the hips, extend the arms, look right and start to reach, pausing about halfway down, bring the left arm across to hold that beach ball. Nice. Landing in triangle pose. Proper for a few breaths. Smiling. And sweeping the left arm down. Bring a block with you. Back to your forward fold, wide legs. A few half lifts here. Lengthening the spine. And find a deep squat. More neutral spine. Maybe the elbows can hug in under the knees a little bit. Nice. And turn the feet forward again. Either your left hand on the block under heart center or on the earth, palm flat or fingertips. Coming into a wide leg spinal twist here as much as possible. We're going to get a straight line, top hand to bottom. Stretch it out for a breath in between. Bring the right hand under the heart, lift the left. So turning in the torso, keep the hips level. Try not to turn the hips so the legs are strong, just like in our wide leg seated position earlier. Walk the hands forward to stretch it out. And bringing that block, and you might end up needing two here. You'll find that I do. Walk the feet in, a little wider than hip width. Start to lower down. Play with a little squat side to side. I love this movement for the knees and hips. Eventually land down on a little block stool. So it can be just one. You can stack two up here like I did. You can do a low goddess. Really opening and releasing the hips, groins, low back. Fabulous second chakra balancing here. Feel your strength. You are incredibly strong in all the right ways. Strong enough to be vulnerable. Strong enough to get shit done. So this may be a tricky transition, but especially if you have that taller seat of 2 blocks, see if you can pull the feet under and land back in hero's pose for our winding down. As we come here, we're going to go right into some more camel work. First with just one hand, left hand back on the block, reach the right arm back. You can make these blocks taller as well. Come back through to the seat. Inhale up through heart center, release the right hand to the block, left arm back. So we started preparing the body for this in our warm-ups. Back to center. And making sure the blocks are in close enough next to your heels. You'll see I made mine a little taller here. You could even make them super tall. And take a moment to find a cat-cow and table before we go into our full camel pose. Or just modified. You can always just bring the hands to the low back instead of reaching down for the blocks. Come back to heroes. Inhale and rise up. Coming back, a little back bend, finding the blocks. Taking the head back with the chin tall. Now, if you've got it in your practice, you can find the heels instead. And get that lovely arch. The base of the spine. Out through the crown of the head. Beautiful. Breath in, strong legs to come out. Sink to heroes. And just release for a moment. There for some bold and beautiful pigeon pose practice. So move anything from under your seat out of the way. Come through table pose. Stretch the left leg back, then bend the knee, open the hip. Kind of the opposite of the twist we did, wide leg standing. Level the hips off again and pull the left knee through. Bringing that foot over in front of the right knee. Starting to step the right leg back. So this is prone pigeon, which can be a lot for knees. You can roll over, do this on your back in a more gentle version if you like. Now, I'm propping up my hip on a block because my hips are tight today. And then I have another block in front of me so I can lift up and see just how tall I can get here. You can't see it, but that left foot is really flexed. I'm on the outer edge of that front foot. And then the top of the back foot. Lengthen the spine to lower down, resting your head on a tall block. Really melt in here, feeling a nice extension down the back leg. Feeling the breath move into the whole of the hip joint. The muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, the fascia, the fat, the fluid. Our body is so complex and beautiful. So take your time to come out and bring yourself to table pose in the front body. Turn the back toes under and see about, everything's an option, everything's an experiment, see about sending that front pigeon leg straight out so that your legs are in a 90-degree angle. Lining the back leg up, what was my back leg, it's now the kind of the top leg, it's the right leg. And I'm on the left hip, reaching that foot across. Find a place to be tall on the elbows. You'll notice I played with putting the block under my elbows. But I'm twisting here, almost that same action again as our wide leg twist that we did a few minutes ago. If it's comfortable for your spine, you can even lower down like I am here. Full easy breaths. Take your time to come up and out. We're going to bend both knees so we land in kind of a mermaid position, twisting to the left a little more. Blowing you a kiss. Sweep the right arm up and around. And come back through table pose. Take a nice big breath back in child's pose. And round up through to table. Adjusting the wardrobe as needed. And extending the right leg back when you're ready. Bending the knee, rolling the hip open. Notice I'm keeping my upper body squared off, back of my head lifted for a neutral spine. Square the hips and pull the right foot through and over into pigeon stance. So it's so important to be on the outer edge of that front foot. Propping my right hip up to keep the hips squared off. We don't want to fall towards the one side. Wiggle that extended back leg in line with that hip. Squaring my hips off there, lifting tall. And then mindfully floating forward. I'm going to lead with the heart. Lead with a flat back. Coming down towards the block with my forehead. And hanging out here for several breaths. You got this. You've got this. You've got this. Whatever it is in your life that feels too big, too intense, you got this. Breathe with it. Maybe everything's going to be okay. Isn't that a different way to look at it? Maybe everything is going to be okay. We'll do the same little party coming out. The block's out of the way. Sending that bottom leg through. That front leg. See how I am. Should have maybe done this on this side first so you could see what the hell was going on. It's goofy and it's a big twist, and if it's too much, trust that feedback from your body and soften it. You could again come onto your back, do a more traditional reclined spinal twist. We're just getting a deeper twist here and some funky hip opening. Ooh, keep moving that breath. And take your time coming out from this side. Remember, bend the knees, press up, extend the twist in the seated mermaid. And go ahead and turn towards what will be the back of your mat. Roll onto your back, knees to chest. Oh, so good. Send the legs up into the sky for a moment. Maybe take the hands behind your head like we did earlier. Flex and point to the feet. Thank you, legs. Thank you, belly. Thank you, body. Maybe do a fun little circle jig here with the feet. Drop the feet to the earth. And a little curve in the low back. Take a big reach out through the soles of the feet. Coming to Savasana. Just breathe and be. And this is only a 30-minute practice. I really encourage you to work up to an hour a day of just you time. Just you. So especially here with Savasana, this is where you can add on beyond the video. If you are working it in on the fly, go ahead, pull the legs in, a little windshield wiper side to side, wiggle the fingers and toes. Roll to your right side for a few breaths. And rise up real slow, back to seated when you're ready. Honoring the light within ourselves and each other. Bowing forward, namaste. Thank you for your presence.